Hi, my name is Angie Wong, and I am president of Legacy PAC. We just came off a huge bus tour across the nation where we went and supported Republican candidates that were running in the midterm elections. We're going to do it again in Georgia for Herschel Walker during his runoff. And of course, we're mobilizing for the big presidential run in 2024. We would love your support and your donations to help us hold the line for the America First agenda and to support the next generation of conservative leaders. So please go to legacy-pac.org. That's legacy-pac.org. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Welcome back. Congratulations, Ms. Shepard. You say you got that money. You go ahead and get it in installments. I know it's going to irritate the dickens out you, but you won. Go get that money. So I'm so proud of people not giving up. Another person that's not giving up anytime soon. Why? Because Trump announced he's running for presidency. Is Stan Fitzgerald. Now listen, if you really want to know a patriot and what a patriot look like that puts his money where his mouth at, or at least somebody else's, that actually get behind candidates. When I say America First, that's God, family, country, and Trump. That's everything that we're talking about. Well, this is Stan Fitzgerald. Not only is he a partner with the Legacy PAC, you know how we just talked about Sam Bankman-Fried and how you give money to candidates. Well, you know what? The conservatives now have their own PAC, and this is for conservative candidates that is American First agenda. This is Stan Fitzgerald. Now, here's the little green-eyed of jealousy. I'm so jealous of him. Every damn time I turn around here in Mar-a-Lago, it's like every time I see him, he's somewhere with Trump, giving up thumbs like this. I'm like, where my black thumb? I have always wanted to go down to Mar-a-Lago, and I guess I'll wait my turn. You know what? I guess I'm going to have to stop dang old pouting and wait my turn. But you know what? Not only is he a part of the Veterans for Trump, because that was a big endorsement that Herschel Walker received, and you really did not hear about it on mainstream media, but that did happen. And not only that, Trump got the endorsements for the veterans, because you see what Joe Biden and the Democrats are doing. It's not American first, it's not our veterans first, it's President Trump. He's forever putting our veterans first. So Stan Fitzgerald, someone that I truly look up to and stalk his page on a regular. You could bring him on in, Dave. Hopefully I can hear you, Stan, because this is iffy on my end. You got your...
Okay.
Hey, Stan.
Hey, Lucretia, I hear you're fine now. You just went and told the whole story, so I have nothing to say. No, I'm only kidding. Well, let me first say that thank you for having me on, and we are fans of yours. A lot of people in our organization listen to your show. You do excellent work, and I'm sure one day you will get down to Mar-a-Lago.
Well, that means that I'm going to have to wear something other than our tank tops and pants. But you know what? I'm going to make everyone proud. I've always wanted to meet President Trump just one time in my life. But you know what? I always said no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to continue to go around the nation, continue talking about God, family, country, and Trump, and going where I'm invited. So I want people to know that I'm not doing this for a particular reason. I'm doing it because I feel the urge and the motivation to get out there. And that's the path that God has me on right now. We need to combat so much. When you have someone like the merchant of death that was locked up for 14 years saying that America has lost its way, I would rather continue standing beside you, Stan, and what you stand for, and especially our veterans and the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Well, absolutely, Lucretia. I mean, the Biden administration releasing another terrorist is just ridiculous. It's like Obama all over again. When he let out mass murderers for one traitor, you just can't make this stuff up. It's so ridiculous. As far as the veterans supporting President Trump, I'm a retired police detective. I am not actually a veteran, but I do run the political director position at the Veterans for Trump, because we cover both first responders and veterans. But our national spokesman, Admiral Kubik, who built a significant portion of the wall for President Trump, obviously is a veteran, and so are the founders of our organization. And yes, President Trump has been a friend to those of us who are in law enforcement and veterans. I just don't understand why there's some veterans that support Joe Biden, because he's destroying not only the country, but our military.
Well, you got to think about it even within inside of our own party because you are a part of Cobb County. We're just going to take the state of Texas. Senator Crenshaw. Now, I respect all my veterans because I have a whole bunch of them in my family, my brother, my sister, my son, my fathers. But when you see him, someone that I used to look up to, and that is Crenshaw, stand behind a desecrated flag that was split between Ukraine flag and also the American flag, everything in me turned, it was like he was turning his back against America. I showed my brother, who's a Marine, the first thing he did was get very angry that they did that to the American flag. And with the Center for Renewing America, and he is a Republican candidate. What do you think, and how are we supposed to support someone that desecrates a flag like that, no matter if they're a Republican or not?
Well, Dan Crenshaw has been a huge disappointment to the America First movement. If I remember correctly, he campaigned on our principles, and he does not have President Trump's back, and clearly he leans towards the establishment, unfortunately. You mentioned the Center for Renewing America. That is an organization started by Russ Vought, who was the White House budget director for President Trump. If you're doing rank, he was number 8 in the chain of command at the White House. Russ has a great organization working on saving America using President Trump's policies, and they're trying to prep our freshman Congress and the congressional body now to be ready for a Trump presidency 2 years from now. And I'm partnered with Russ on that. And some of the things we're working on are getting rid of some of these rhinos like Kevin McCarthy. He does not have the votes. He's just another Dan Crenshaw. McCarthy is going to block the impeachment of Joe Biden. It's never going to come up for a vote.
No.
He's screwing up. He's going to screw up our budget. And most importantly, one of the things we're doing at the center is we're pushing for what's called a church committee, and that is strictly a separate oversight committee, not a subcommittee, a brand new one that would go after corrupt FBI agents and give full authority to the team run by who we would like to see run it, Kash Patel, to get these documents and work with prosecutors that'll actually do something. So that's something Congress does not have at their tools right now. They do not have law enforcement power. With a church committee, they would, through Kash Patel, and McCarthy said no to that. And how do you say no to that when you look at what's going on with the Twitter files? It's just one thing after another with the government, law enforcement agency, out of control.
Okay, now with the new legacy pack, because it all goes together. Can you use that pack, the pack for the American First, for all these candidates, especially ones that are sitting candidates that feel like they're out there on an island by themselves? What can the new legacy pack actually do to combat Kevin McCarthy? I call them the McNasties, okay? We got Ronna McDaniel, we have Kevin McCarthy, and we have Mitch McConnell. And these are the McNasties inside of our own party. They're supposed to be leadership, but it seemed like they're tearing the Republican motto and creed down. How do we get that back as we, support President Trump coming back out for re-election? And how do we take those Twitter files, because Twitter dropped 5, 4, and 5. I've been reading these. What can President Trump do, and can he sue all of them for defamation of character and slander?
Well, Lucretia, as far as what the president can and can't do, I have to. Legacy PAC has its attorney, Jared Craig, who you probably know because he ran for Congress in Georgia. So he could better answer your legal questions if you want to have him on the show. And Angie Wong is our president at Legacy PAC. But I can tell you what we could do at the PAC to help. We're going to help fund campaigns for America First candidates. So we're going to put Trump's supporting candidates in office by helping them get elected. That's it in a nutshell. We're obviously going to get involved with helping organizations like Veterans for Trump and Center for Renewing America as well with funding. But our main purpose is Legacy PAC is to preserve the legacy of President Trump, help President Trump get elected, and help good candidates get into office that will fight for America First.
Now, how do we get the good candidates? Because a whole bunch of these nonpartisan people are not, they are talking a good talk, but when you really pull back the onion skin, they are straight rhinos, or, you know, in Republican in name only. When I say this about people, it's like, do your platform sticks with what we believe in? You know, less taxes, less government, more self-responsibility, our military, our border, and America. How are we going to weed out, and I say we because I want to help, but how are we going to weed out and get the right candidates out there? We saw, let's go ahead and just be real. We saw what happened with Herschel Walker campaign. After, you know, people keep asking me, why do I think he lost? Because he let us go. He ignored us. He didn't want, not, I wouldn't say Herschel Walker himself, but the gatekeepers around Herschel Walker did not want the American First people in his campaign to help him. He didn't want the grassroots American First people out there on the front line helping him. How can we combat the gatekeepers that are brought on by the RNC, that's brought on into our state by the rhinos, and that is not gonna allow us to help them? And how do we pick and choose so we don't waste resources, time, or our money?
Well, I'll unpack a few of the things you said there. First of all, it's hard when you're interviewing a brand new candidate. They're going to say everything you want them to hear. So there's no track record. We had some of those kind of people win in Georgia. I'm not going to name any names. But, you know, their track record when they start voting will expose them later. And then you primary a good candidate against them to get them out. But as far as ground zero, getting to know somebody, I'm not trying to boast because this is always a team effort. My wife and I did most of the vetting with a board at Veterans for Trump. We have some excellent people there. Josh Messias, one of the founders, Vladimir Lometz, and obviously I mentioned Admiral Kubik. So it's a team effort, but I'm trained from way back in the day when I was a detective in law enforcement in interview procedures. And so people like me are a little bit better at it than the average person. So when we put up an endorsement on our website with Veterans for Trump or Veterans for America First, it's actually better known as, you could be assured that, you know, experts have vetted these people. And by expert, I don't just mean law enforcement. I mean, we're all very established in politics and understand what's going on. And I've personally been doing this since 1986. So there's ways, if you go with certain organizations' endorsements, you could trust them. Now, I did so much talking, I forgot the other point you wanted me to address. I think it was Herschel Walker. Okay, so you're right. Herschel Walker was a great candidate. He's a great man. I can't thank him and Julie enough for the sacrifices they made to try to help save America. And you hit it right on the head. You know, it was his campaign team. Michelle Beagle from the team is excellent. A lot of the other people on the team were Kemp people. I'm not a fan of Brian Kemp. I know you're not, but he's our governor. But the strategy they used did not work, and the RNC didn't help like they should have. In fact, they were pulling out canvas teams weeks before the election.
Sure was. I witnessed it myself, but I witnessed a lot of this because I try to explain it to people and they ask me my opinion and I would tell them. But when you ask to help really great candidates more than 5 times and you get the door shut in your face, then you just stop doing it. You just try to do the best you could do, get out there and get the word out and just continue to go. One thing that I liked about President Trump team is that he just took people like us and he utilized us to do what was need to be done, and I appreciate it. It was inclusive. It felt like a family. You could take it from the Black Voices for Trump, the Latinos for Trump, the bikers for Trump, veterans. It was the whole nine, and I think a lot of people are missing that American first feeling that make America great, everything that we stand for. And when it comes to the veterans, that is what all of that about. And that's one thing that President Trump, and you can see it at the rallies that he held with the military when he went and visited them at the base. You know, that was that morale of what a true president, that a commander-in-chief was. And now, you know, because when President Trump was in office, there was not a lot of our servicemen and women finally got the respect that they deserve. They got the money that they deserve. It was a lot of cleaning up started to happen when Trump was in there. What can we do now that we know that we must make a headway How do people, and especially people, everybody that's watching right now, how do they get more information about the Veterans for Trump or the Center for Renewing America or the new Legacy PAC? Because you have people from all 50 states right now tuning in and watching, and a lot of us out here are feeling, what do we do now? We don't want the hopeless feeling. We want that hope back, something to fight for, because right now a lot of people are being bombarded on how and what they can do to save our nation.
Well, just to back up to you're talking about originally the coalitions as far as feeling inclusive. And you're right. The Trump campaign ran its campaign not just with campaign members. You know, a presidential campaign is huge, but they also invited what's called a coalition. So they had Veterans for Trump, Black Voices for Trump, Women for Trump, Latinos for Trump. And that was a way where everybody